Good day and welcome back to my channel. So today I'm going to be going through something a little bit different. It's also a how-to guide, and this is a how to structure your corporations or your your list of friends. Well, basically, everybody in the game is going to be focusing on one of three sections: PvP, PvE, or industry. Now, even though I've broken it up into three, industry is actually broken up into two. You can have those who are going to go into industry to make more ISK, and you're going to have those who go into industry to make structures for your corporation. You will find that there's quite a few structures in the tab. I'm currently taking a long jump into a Mahar space for a T6 encounter. So while I'm doing that, I'm just going to open the industry tab quickly. Now, if you open manufacturing, you should come to structures. Right, let's go into structures. Right, now you'll see that the structures are all locked for me because I'm not yet a T6 player. But when it comes to the structure of the game, these are going to be very, very important for your progression into later stages of production and even into the later stages of gameplay, because these are critical systems and critical components that you're going to need to make. Like these are your electronic sensor. Okay, never mind. I thought it was something bigger, but anyhow, when it comes to these items, they're going to be very important because you're going to need to have outposts. Right, yeah, this is something which everybody is going to need: an outpost for your corporation, for your entire operation. Let's look at its functionality.
Warp drive active.
Now, if you're looking at it carefully, you're noticing that this is going to be something big. It's massive in cost. It's hundreds of millions of ISK. It's not just the standard 40, 50, 60 million ISK. This is 450 million ISK. That means that it has a bigger functionality. And inside that description, if I was correct, it has it right at the bottom. There's it. Let's see, outposts create value for money. If you're looking to conduct activities on a moderate scale, this can serve as your personal base of operations. So basically, for those who don't have a base of operations
Warp
as yet,
drive
you're
active.
going to settle these in the far regions, far out from the regular areas where you're normally going to be. As you can see, for building it, it needs quite a lot of things to go on. But once you set these up, you're actually going to start progressing further and further into uh, higher and higher value operations. Let's see what's this here. Small missiles, medium missiles. It's gonna help you progress to a bigger structure overall. Now, when it comes to the structures, you're going to notice that eventually they're gonna go into even more ridiculous things. These things are actually going to help you with
Warp
your
drive
shipbuilding, with
active.
your overall constructions. But the biggest problem for it is you can't have everybody in your corporation building these. You're going to need people, particularly structured, going after industry. Because obviously, if they're not going after industry from the start, that means they're not going after mining and industry, they're going after PvE or PvP. So by them researching everything for production, they can get this up for your corporation far earlier. So in a corporation of 100 members, maybe 20 members will handle the manufacturing. There could even be a second clone, but I highly doubt it's going to be a second clone. And what this is going to do, it's going to allow you to build your own structures on the far end of the map. If I'm correct, one of them was a complete
Warp
I
drive
forgot what it
active.
was, but someone said that you can actually build your own complete docking station out in the middle of nowhere. So you can build a docking station in a place like Central Point or Dead End. If anybody's been there, you'll find that there's no stations. You build your own station. You now got your outpost. You dock. You repair. You're ready to leave, and you're done. You can also charge players when they come in. You charging them for repairs, if I'm correct. And once you are done with all of this, you are going to progress to a later stage in the game, and it's going to allow your PvE players to get stronger. Your PvP players are also going to get stronger due to your industry being strong. And if you are all docking and hiding in one spot, you can collaborate all of your resources. An example is me. I've got tons of gear. I'm just not the best at reprocessing, so I haven't started breaking it apart to make minerals and resources for producing ships. And with all of this, as I said, you need 20 people who are actually going heavy into industry, learning the buildings. Then you're going to need another 20 in industry who are going heavy into mining. Now that means that they're getting ore processing, and they're basically only working on the industrial fleet. Once this is done, you're going to have a heavy bunch of farmers. Basically, they're going to be able to go out and mine an entire asteroid field, while you have 20 players who are on the PvP run around them, killing other farmers, possibly protecting them. And you are going to harvest in this way. That's how you play one single corporation. Some PvE, some PvP, some industry. If you're going full PvP, in the end, you're going to end up spending way more ISK than those who are playing PvE, PvP, and industry on their own. On their own in their structure. You're also going to get some organizations who are actually going to run with alliances. One complete PvP alliance, one complete PvE alliance, one complete industry alliance. That means that the industry alliance is basically just building machines for your overall progression. You're going to have a bunch of guys with, let's see, what can I say? You're going to have a bunch of guys with, I'm trying to figure out what they're going to have. You can have a bunch of guys who are processing all of your excess equipment. You go out on a ratting party, for example, like going to kill T6 anomalies or T6 encounters. I get 7% of loot of each T6 encounter. So if I do a total of 14 or 15 in a day, I'm 100% full. I can go in, dock it, and transfer it over to the industrial part of the alliance. They can reprocess it, and they are now going to have more materials to build new ships, to repair the ships, to make more ISK. And they can even pay me the ISK when I dock in and give them materials. Obviously, it's going to be their trade rates, their trade agreements within the alliances. I'm not exactly sure if this is how things work, but I have a feeling that it is going to work in such a way for some people. And once everything starts getting down to the later stages, you are now going to find that your PvE players are going to be highly focused to keeping the range, keeping the fire, tanking those heavy hits from big fleets of T10 and T11 battleships. And they're going to have those heavy T10, T11 battleships. They're going to be running missiles. They're going to be running decomposers. They're going to be running lasers. You get it. Basically, these heavy fleets at the back. Your droners are more or less going to be better for taking on small fleets. When I say small fleets, I mean in PvP. A bunch of drones swarming one guy is going to be way more difficult to evade than just two guys hitting him. You may have a whole drone fleet. That means a whole lot of players playing with ships which focus more on drones than on weapons. Going out with that, you have that for your PvE, PvP fleets. Your PvE fleets can also take on PvP. You just have to change one debuff ability to a Warp Disruptor. And once you have a Warp Disruptor, that means once that fight starts, nobody is getting out of here. Everybody is stuck, Warp is disabled, and you are going to fight till one of y'all are down. And it most likely will be both sides. One guy activates it on your side, another guy activates it on the other side. You'll lock people in place and you'll start hammering. Then you're going to have your support class within your PvE and PvP. Those are the guys who are running the remote shields, the remote capacitors. They're going to be transferring shield, transferring power to the guys who are getting hit the most, the guys who are taking the front line, the guys who are debuffing. And that's the way that this game is meant to run, as far as I can tell. So this is just a basic breakdown on progression into industry, PvE, and PvP. So basically, your military, business, and industry as your career choice would have said. This is how you structure yourself so that you are a useful player within your corporation. Now, let's see, the next thing that can be said for a viable solution is getting ahead with forming um, friends who are outside of your corporation itself. Your corporation may have 150, 200 members, if I'm correct, at max,
Warp drive active.
but that isn't going to help you in the long term of the game. You need to be able to go out on your own and take on. I'm actually just randomly saying this. You need to go out and be able to take on massive amounts of missions at massive amounts of time. And even if all five of you are, or all 100 of you are from the same country, it doesn't mean you're all gonna be on at the exact same time. You get the night owls, you get the daytime people, you get the weird shift people. That means there's gonna be people on at all times for your corporation. One of the best things you can do is actually set up your entire corporation in such a way that one person doesn't do everything. So, example, I'm a massive PvE hunter. So my entire responsibility will be to get those PvE fleets ready. To get that one guy in the fleet who is going to be transferring gear to everyone else. Now, at current, I don't have it with my group of guys we go out farming with. But soon I might just try and get the red party with two guys who are dedicated to picking up loot. And at the end of the night, when we have 6,000-7,000 items of loot, they can simply go, transfer to A, transfer to B, transfer to C, small amounts of figures, and we all have massive amounts of loot. And they have made sure that we're not losing it to a pirate who comes in. Because if anybody has seen this recently, when they find a huge fleet, you find that there's this one random guy. He'll just pop into your area where you're fighting, and the next thing you know, he is raiding your fleet. Not the best thing that a person can do, but I've noticed it quite often. Okay, 1 second, I want to just see something here. So basically, that's just the basics on what you're going to need to do to keep yourself going in this game at a good steady rate. Okay, I think that's going to be it for this video. Thank you for watching. Please leave a like, subscribe, or comment down below. Thank you.